Keith, that those two halves of football showed you exactly why neither of these old firm clubs probably deserve to win the title. And I'm sure we'll talk about it, but the big winners of the day are obviously Hearts and Derek McInnes. Derek must be absolutely rubbing his hands watching that towards the end there. The perfect result for them.
It's completely perfect, Scott. I do think, and he might have been sitting a little bit uneasy in his sofa in the first half, because at that point you're looking at Rangers completely dominating a game of football and actually starting to look as if something was happening. Jermaity's 2 goals are astonishing. They should have got the game won in that first half. And I think if you're Derek McInnes, you're thinking, right, they actually starting to look like a real credible challenge here. But the nature of their second half performance was so tepid that, you're absolutely right, Scott. Derek McInnes, from the moment Kieran Tierney scores to get Celtic back into the game, I thought it had 2-2 written all over it, and I'm sure that Derek McInnes would have been sitting on his couch thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, and by the way, Jack, will see if the game had lasted another 5 minutes.
Celtic could have won it.
Celtic could have won it. They looked like the team. It's a massive missed opportunity for Rangers. You were right, that first half, completely dominant, overpowered Celtic with their strength, physicality, pace. 2 goals were outstanding. The game should have been dead and buried. I mean, at 2-0, we were sitting in the press box here thinking, if Rangers get a third before half time, this could get messy for Celtic. I mean, Celtic looked defensively at that point gone, and you think this could really be 3, 4, 5. And the big worry for Rangers and Danny Rowe will be the drop-off in level in terms of performance in that second half. Is really alarming, I would say. I mean, look, Martin O'Neill made a couple of personnel changes at half-time that really worked for them. And Celtic were miles better in the second half. Rangers couldn't get the ball down and play. I think Callum McGregor said it post-match, but me and Michael Gannon were talking about it. In the first half, Celtic were almost trying to get embroiled in a battle with Rangers, which was just crazy. Rangers were always going to win that when it comes to physicality. He switches Oxlade-Chamberlain for Hatate, and Hatate, with his experience and his composure on the ball, and I know people have slated him this season because he's had a poor campaign, but he was the catalyst for Celtic getting back in it, turned it into a football match again. And it did. Rangers' strength and power became irrelevant because Celtic were playing around them. And at the same time, obviously, Maida going up top gave Rangers far more to worry about, as he normally does, than what Junior Adamu was in the first half. So it was a massive change for Martin O'Neill at half-time. Celtic fully deserved their point. As I say, they could have won it if it had lasted much longer. But for Rangers, yet again, this kind of mental weakness that seems to be there, where they can't get the job done, they can't get over the line, even in a game where they're absolutely dominant. And as I say, I just think in terms of the title race, a huge opportunity missed for them.
We've got tons of comments coming in, and if you're at home, you want to let us know your opinion on that game today and all the Premiership weekend action, please do so. We've also got a resident referee, Des Roach, who you might have spotted at the start of the show. He'll come in and give us his lowdown on what I think we'd all agree was a pretty good game for John Beaton, all in all.
Not one fault to pick in John Beaton today. He got everything right. I thought he managed the game really well. There wasn't, he wasn't desperate to get his cards out. I thought the players made it quite easy for him, apart from after the final whistle when there was a bit of to and fro on the way up the tunnel. But all we've called on and all we've asked for from VAR is to get the big decisions right, to get them correct. That was a brilliant day for Willie Collum, for VAR, for Clydesdale House, because ultimately it was a big decision, but it was the correct decision. That's VAR being used properly, and well done, Stephen McLean, who I think was in charge of the remote control. At first glance, I'm not sure anybody sees that, and John Beaton can't be expected to see it either. But when you slow it down, when you see it from the angle, there's no doubt about it. Maida's header's on target. Butland might save it, maybe not, who knows? But it's deflected towards him by Dujon Sterling's arm. So that's entirely the right call, and it's a good day for VAR. There's not been many of them this season, but today's certainly one.
Before we come to Des and talk a bit more about the refs, let me throw a few of the comments coming in, guys, because like I say, they are flooding in. This one from Bengal, he says, being a Rangers fan, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but that light is a 10-ton truck and it's headed for you at 100 miles an hour. Sports 872 says, both teams can still win the league despite their flaws. Too close to say anyone's out, 27 points to go. Frankie says, I would have taken a draw before the game, would have bit your hand off for a draw at half time, and it could have won it in the end. He's a Celtic fan. John says Rangers showed their inexperience and weak mentality. They thought they'd won the game in the first half and only had to turn up to win it. Celtic turned up in the second half and could have won it. And finally, El Barista says, when are we going to see Hearts are seriously challenging to win this title now? They could win it in 7 games, depending on results. I mean, I don't think anyone here is certainly saying Hearts aren't serious challengers. I mean,
I've been riding the Hearts horse for a while.